OSAP cuts hurt students. Georgian College's Aurelia campus has more than 1,500 full-time students. On January 19, Premier Doug Ford's progressive conservative government slashed 10% off tuition, but also cut OSAP grants, adding those dollars to student loans, meaning students will actually be incurring more debt. Joining an estimated 10,000 students across the province, Aurelia's future scholars are now beginning to organize rallies.
No Ford! 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 No Ford!
Ford says the cuts are necessary. The government has to rein in a ballooning $15 billion deficit. In addition to OSAP grant shrinkage, the PC's new payback terms for OSAP loans has shrunk, meaning students will now have to begin paying down debt as soon as they leave the classroom. One by one, students are beginning to rally. Student activist Noor Ali Deeb, chairperson of the Canadian Federation of Students, has tirelessly promoted provincial student protests. In a recent phone call, Ali Deeb said, "We've been told our whole lives that you need to get a good education to get a good job. Now we're getting lots of debt and no jobs." However, students won't be the only ones looking for loose change under couch cushions. Both universities and colleges are going to lose a hefty chunk of their funding when the 10% cut is rolled out in the fall. The government says that the money will be snatched from colleges' coffers, deducting $80 million from their annual budgets. Minister of Training Colleges and Universities, Marilee Fullerton, prefers to focus on what they're offering instead of what they're taking away.
I have full confidence in our institutions, colleges and universities. They will be able to determine what they need to do to change, to adapt, and innovate. And, we're calling on our institutions in a challenge. Let's innovate. Let's create a 10% reduction for students across the board, across Ontario, in an unprecedented historic reform. 10% reduction for all students.
So, what we want to do is send the message with all the other students across the province. A lot walked out yesterday, many are walking out today. Georgian Aurelia has to take a stand on this, and we've been waiting for someone to step up from, our student union, and it hasn't happened. They're sending letters to the MPP, which is really, really important. But I also want to send out a petition and ask everybody to sign it, and then send a letter to the MPP as well, which is really not hard to do. Once they start getting and keep getting, and we keep up the momentum on this, then they will have to start paying attention to it. But we can't let up. We can't do one protest and walk away. So
this is just the beginning, is what she's saying.
This is
let's
just
go. Let's raise our voices.
What's our chant? Hashtag no Ford.
Hashtag no Ford. Hashtag no Ford. Hashtag.
Less than 2 years ago, the 2017 provincial budget saw the previous Liberal government increasing the financial assistance given to low-income students. In the Liberals' Making Tuition More Affordable budget, they offered low-income students free education if family incomes fell under $50,000, and families earning under $83,000 would receive non-repayable grants. The budget read, "Financial need for OSAP is the difference between a student's education expenses, the amount needed to cover tuition, books, childcare, living expenses, supplies, and equipment, and the student's personal financial situation, which includes income, savings, and what the student's family or spouse is expected to contribute." Now the Tories are taking a page out of former Premier Mike Harris's 1994 Common Sense Revolution book, where he cut education by $1 billion or 5%. This included a 25% cut in funding for post-secondary schools. Ontarians protested in the 90s, and they're beginning to rally again.